stopping us. We going harder, we getting stronger, better than ever, better than ever. I feel the power. Let's go, let's go.
What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's Snowrunner video, we're going to be looking at the difference between having chains on your tires and not having chains in your tires. So we're going to do three different ways of this. We're going to do no chains at all, we're going to do all tires having chains, and then we're going to do just rear tires having chains. We are going to be using the Caterpillar CT 680. It was probably one of my favorite trucks that I use chains on, so that's the truck I chose to use. But it's going to give you an overall comparison of whether or not it's better to have chains on or not to have chains on in a couple different settings. We're going to be testing this on kind of a straightaway on ice. We're going to be testing this carrying a load up a hill and through snow. And we're just going to see which way it is best. Now keep in mind the Caterpillar CT 680 is not an off-road vehicle, so I do not anticipate chains or no chains doing a very good job in the snow. But just to show you that these trucks are the same, I have the 26 TTA engine on both of them. I have the off-road gearbox, stock suspension, the 47-inch all-terrain tires is what we're going to be using. It's the all-terrain tires 3 actually is what we're going to be using for the no chains, because if you look down here on the chains, that's what they use for the chains. So to keep it fair, we're going to go use the exact same all-terrain tires on it, even though we could put off-road tires on. So we'll be using the 47-inch ADs 3s on both chains and no chains. And then we do have the diff lock that we could use. Same thing with chain 1, 2600 TTA, off-road gearbox, and then like I said, the 47-inch UAD 3 all chains, and then we will be switching over to just rear chains. That way we have steering. And we're going to see which truck is better. So let's jump into this. As you can see, we have the no chains on the left, the chains with all wheels in the middle, and the chains with rears only on the right. For this run, they were all pretty equal on speed, but the no chains are slipping and sliding. On the load uphill, same thing as it. You can see that the chain trucks are doing a little bit faster. They get a little bit better traction on this ice. They can climb this hill a little bit quicker. And the no chains is still sliding a little bit. First going through the snow, we have the no chains. I was actually kind of expecting this truck to get completely stuck, but as you can tell, it is making its way through the snow pretty well, as far as not having any chains on this, not having any kind of actual off-road package for this truck. This is more of a this is a heavy truck. It more likes to stay on the road, but it is getting through the snow still. It's not getting through the snow very fast, as you can tell. We will see after this if the chains will help get through this snow a little bit better. The first two tests, they were pretty equal. The no chains didn't perform quite as well as the ones with chains. We'll see if going through the snow is any different. Okay, so there we go. It took us 1 minute 10 seconds to get through, almost 1 minute 11 seconds. Now if we go with the truck with all tires having chains on them, we'll see if it can do any better. Looks like it got stuck in about the same spot, which is pretty expected for this truck. I would not anticipate the chains making too big of a difference going through snow, but we're going to find out right here. I mean, actually, I guess it did. With chains, we actually got through quite a bit faster. We made it through in 37.5 seconds. That's pretty impressive, actually. For just some general gameplay of these vehicles. We're going to just drive a little bit, and we're going to show you just how these vehicles do perform. So this has all chains on it. And as you can see, the handling on the road is pretty good. It doesn't slip and slide everywhere. It's pretty solid. So that's the difference with driving with chains. Going with no chains here at all, we're going to see if we can do that same little path that we just did, and it performed just as good. So we're going to take the same corner, and we're already sliding. So as you can tell, having no chains, we slide quite a bit more. It's a lot harder to keep control of. Just completely slid into the guardrail there. No chains on ice is not good. If you're running on the ice, you definitely want to have these chains. Now, I was going pretty fast there. You probably won't be going that fast. But that's a good example of what the chains will do for you. So here we go. Here we're pulling up another truck here with chains on the rear tires. Once again, we're getting pretty good traction. We still have pretty good steering up front. The difference between rear chains and chains on these tires, I didn't see a whole lot of difference on. To me, they're pretty close to the same. If you guys feel differently, definitely let us know in the comment section. But from what I can tell, between having chains on all your tires and chains just on the rear tires, is pretty equal to me. It's definitely a big difference between having any form of chains, whether they're just on the rear or on all tires, and no chains at all when driving on ice. But if you are going anywhere with the mud, you definitely do not want the chains. Chains and mud are not good. But definitely keep that in mind. There are parts of Alaska that do have mud. So kind of plan your trip on whether or not you're going to put chains on your trucks or not. If you're staying on these paved roads, for what I can tell, absolutely have chains on. So here's this run here with rear chains only. You're going to see how this truck performs on this little run. I mean, it doesn't do a bad job. Your front tires will slide a little bit with not having the chains on it. I ran rear chains only on most of my Alaska runs for this truck. I prefer to not have the chains on the front, just because in theory you should be able to have better steering if you don't have the chains on. But through these tests, they were pretty equal in my opinion, as far as having all chains or just rear chains. These trucks were pretty similar. I mean, this truck, you can pick up really good speed on this truck when you have the chains, and you don't slide everywhere. Pretty solid. There's another run with all chains. Once again, pretty solid. You can turn corners pretty well still. Like I said, the difference between having rear chains and all chains is pretty close to the same. I don't see much advantage in having all chains or just rear chains. You guys can make that decision, completely up to you. I'm not sure exactly what I hit right there, but okay. Kind of been out a little bit. And I mean, that could be the difference of having the chains on the front tires. It allowed me to turn there. I'm not exactly sure what the truck did there. That's kind of weird. Even taking these corners, we're not sliding off the road. It's pretty good there. Switching over again to having no chains. And on this run here, it made it up this hill pretty quick. As we seen on the side by side, it didn't. That definitely had nothing to do with the flip over. It had nothing to do with the chains. That I hit a rock. It had nothing to do with the chains. But that's what we have for you guys on this video. Like I said, in my opinion, chains, if you're running on ice, if you're running on mud, I would go with no chains. Even through snow, it looked like the chains did a better job for the test we did. So there you go, guys. If you guys have any more ideas of what you want to see or what you want me to test, let us know in the comment section. I'll be glad to test it for you. If this video helped you, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like the video, and definitely let us know in the comment section of if you use the chains or not. Some people do, some people don't. I prefer to use on my Caterpillar CT80 while I was in Alaska. You may not. Let us know in the comment section. And until next time, stay crispy.